So Mark, tell us where did this weightlifting journey start? Do you remember like the first time you picked up a weight and it felt good?
1976, I saw the Olympics the first time, and I wanted to be the guy that I saw, Vasily Alexiev. And I begged my mother for weights, and she wouldn't buy them because I was a little kid asking for something I didn't know what I was asking for. And then my brother was an outstanding football player. He was one of the top 22 players. You know, they got the rankings now, 5 stars and all of that. He was on the All-America Super 20 Gold, Super 22.
What position?
So like the top 11 defensive players in the country and the top 11 offensive players in the country. They used to put him in USA Today.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he was in that. He was on that wrecking crew defense at Texas A&M. The nose guard, Pat Henry. He was a mean, bad son of a gun. And he was like Debo. And my mom bought weights for him. But like every day, bro, like I would go out and lift them weights. And I would watch it. There was a TV show that used to come on called BodyShaping with Corey and Jeff Everson.
Yes, on ESPN.
On ESPN. And I would go and copy it. And every day I would go outside. I met Corey Everson, by the way. And I told her, I said, hey, you know that I learned how to lift by watching you. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, I used to watch BodyShaping and I used to copy all y'all shows. She just hugged me and cried, bro. She just could not believe that she had influence on me.
And if you don't know, Corey Everson, beautiful bodybuilder, weightlifter back in the late 80s, early 90s, Mark. Like I said, I
was a good red-blooded American boy.
You see what I led that off with? Beautiful woman.
She was not hard to look at.
So would you say the weightlifting, you said you went to juvie, would you say that kind of saved your life or changed your life or turned it around?
Oh, it saved me. It definitely saved me because I was on my way to hell in a handbasket, bro, as my granny used to say. I like lifting and football, like they wouldn't even let me play for sports because, you know, every experience people had with me was me holding a kid hand down and with a magnifying glass and putting a boy face in a mud puddle trying to drown him and like body slamming a kid off a merry-go-round, like stupid stuff. Like you had one time. Like I was on zero tolerance. I wasn't on, hey man, don't pick on me again. No, you picked on me and you got rocked. And it just sucked. You know, like I had people go to bat for me that I didn't even know. And the dude that was the main one, Billy Brister, he told me that his cousin played quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bubby Brister. And he said, man, I just got out of college. I'm doing this student teaching thing. He said, man, I got people that I played with in college that I don't think could be you. He said, you need to get your shit together. He said, man, you could be famous. And he was right. And if it wasn't for him, man, I wouldn't be nobody. I'd be dead in jail.
That's amazing.
That's huge. Now,
can I jump in? But Mark, referencing back to the bio, speaking of people who kind of gave you that push, Craig McGallion, the strength coach at Silsby, he told you could be special.
And Billy they both were at University of Houston, and Craig was from my hometown, and I think he's a McGallion. So the McGallion family, his dad was the athletic director in Silsby, and the AD, and so he came and basically went to work for his dad and brought the other guy with him and from college. And they were doing their student teaching so they could become coaches. And Craig was the one that was like, yo, man, have you ever lifted free weights? And I was like, no, like, what's free weights? And he was like, we got to get you some free weights, because I did machines and stuff, and I used to lift the concrete weights. Like you go in the hood,
some homemade joints.
We would get like rims and put concrete on them and make our own weights, like stuff like that. So it was very rudimentary. And he was like, we got to get some free weights. And he went to Mr. McGallion, and they started a powerlifting team, and we won state. The first year we had a team, we won state. Mm-hmm. Because we worked all year long. We never took no time off. Like we were in the country. It wasn't nothing else to do but either work on the farm or ranch or do fences. They had a plant in my town that used to make pallets. The pallets that they put stuff on for
the
shipping.
wood pallets, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was called, wooden pallets. Okay. And people used to say, man, that's all you're gonna end up doing is working out there at wooden pallets. And I was like, not me. Like, I'm doing something. And they was like, yeah, you gonna go to jail then, because all you keep doing is smashing people. Like, and Craig and if it was like Craig and Billy, man, they opened the door to get me to play sports, because man, I was on a warpath.
I'm still trying to wonder who would look at Mark Henry, size him up, and go, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Listen, sometimes you know what the thing about it is, I never started nothing. If the people that you saw in that documentary in my town, you can go to my town right now and say, hey, well, Mark Henry, asshole, and they'll be like, no. Like, Mark ain't never started.
But he finished it.
Mark was a finisher.
Right. That's like, how you have a clean conscience.
It could have been you. If somebody was bullying you and I walked up and heard that shit, I'm like, why are you picking on him?
It was on, huh?
Right.
You picking on him because he's smaller than you? Well, do it to me. That's who I was. And I'm still that way. I just can't put my hands on nobody. But I'll find a way to ruin your life if I feel like you're being wrong to somebody.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to your weightlifting, I need to know some numbers, man. I need to know what are some of your best, or what was your personal records.
I squatted 1,006.
How old were you at this point, Mark?
The most that I ever did in competition was 991. I bench pressed 601. I deadlifted 903 in competition, but in training, I did 925, which my coach said that nobody's ever done over 910. And I went, to the record books, and nobody had never did 900.
Wow.
And free deadlift. Like, we're off the floor with a real bar. Now, you go to the Arnold Classic, and they created this thing called the elephant bar.
Okay.
And the elephant bar is longer. It's got more bend in it. The weight don't come off the floor that high. And you can bounce it and do a bunch of stuff that you can't do with a traditional straight bar. It's like there's a lot of science in lifting. One of the things is bending steel with your hands. Like, if you bend cold roll or hot roll, those are the two things that they put in skyscrapers and buildings. Not rebar. Rebar, you can put that in concrete. They build regular houses and stuff like that. Okay. But like, what I used to be in was the stuff that they built skyscrapers with. And anything over 40 inches or under 40 inches was damn near impossible. I was bending stuff at 37 inches. And like 3 inches shorter, every inch that you add gives you more distance because it'll bend further.
Okay.
And with me, I would get shorter stuff because I didn't want nobody to fulcrum what I did. And I would hand my bar to people and let them walk around the crowd, pass it along. People would put it on the ground, put their foot in the middle. That's what I mean, fulcrum, where you pick a point in the middle of 2 points and you try to bend something. You still couldn't bend 37-inch co-row. Can't do it. Like the guys that are the strongest men in the world today couldn't do it. If they could, they would be Mark Henry.
Oh my God, what a bar. Watch new episodes of No Contest Wrestling every Wednesday or listen wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us at No Contest Wrestling Podcast on Instagram.